What up, y'all? This is your girl Cheryl coming from the Go Getter Circle. Today I want to talk about branding and advertising. I mean, it's something people struggle with on the daily. I don't know how many people come to me in a day trying to advertise with me, and that's no joke. They try to advertise with me because they see what works and what does not work. You know, of course, everybody want what works. If you got some bum equipment, it don't work. Who wants it? Even if somebody come and buy it for scraps, they don't want it. So people see what works, and then instead of them trying to go and just find whatever works for them, they try to jump on somebody else's bandwagon. You know what I'm saying? Thinking that will help their views, help them. But if you don't know the industry you're in by now, you are wasting your time even more. You're wasting your money on the wrong things. You could go spend your money on advertising and just be yourself instead of constantly trying to. But anyway, so yeah, advertising, it's not an easy thing. It's not something you can just wake up and say that's what I want to do. No, don't work like that. You have to, especially when you get to like big numbers. When people get to big numbers, the big dollars should follow, right? And you shouldn't be complaining about not being able to advertise on nothing. I don't understand that. So anyway, but branding, you really have to plug at it. I'm telling you, it's taken a long time for me. Not a long time just being seen or anything, because I know how to do all that, but just for people to understand what your brand stands for. Anybody can come up with a logo, and it can be catchy, it can be designed nice, and all these other things, but if it don't really represent anything, like most people logos or whoever, when they start a brand, it kind of references them in some kind of shape, form, or fashion. When you see it, that artist did it or that designer did it. And the problem today is people don't have anything of their own for people to recognize them with. They keep thinking if they use somebody else's stuff, people gonna think of them instead. No, most of the times, once that person, whoever's it is, stop using it, nobody's thinking about it anymore, and that's hard to get people to understand. It don't go on and on and on. At a certain time, it shuts off, and nobody's interested in that look anymore until the person who originally had it, or the person designed it, or who it was designed for, they're not interested until that person comes back and deals with it. But yeah, and it's hard to, like I said, it's hard to tell people that, because I'm sure people try to tell people that all the time, and they think it's just somebody being cruel or being mean or nobody likes them or whatever, but it's not a babysitting club. It really isn't. We are talking about grown adults, people who worked hard themselves to brand their own selves. So anybody who has had that dream about being their own person, branding, having their own brand, having their own everything, why would you think they want to waste their time with somebody who ain't doing anything? Just, if that is so hard for people to understand, then man, they just will forever be lost thinking that people really care. If you get up every day to go to work, what are you going to work for? To complain? What do you go to work for, to complain? I thought you go to work to make money so you can do whatever you want to do in life, not complain about other people who make money so they can do what they want to do in their life. They have it all confused. What's the advertising in that? And who wants to deal with that? you look at it and you like, who wants to deal with that? I know sometimes I say things and people think they can use it to get on my nerves, but the whole point is I'm not that wrapped up in you, so you can talk till you turn blue in the face is what I look at it as. I mean, eventually you'll shut up and go ahead on about your business, because I will ignore you. I have adapted myself to doing that now. You know, when people talking, I just be like, I'll say whatever I need to say, and you can walk away feeling however you feel. You know, because at the end of the day, if people really, really, really cared, just like you think they did something or flipped the script for you just now, they could do that like anytime. Who wants kibbles and bits, man? Make me a real partner or not? Or, you know, who wants these little bitty things and you running around like it's a lollipop or something? I mean, yeah, I don't understand it. It's just people don't get much attention at home. They struggling and striving for everything. You know, I'm saying you just can't make people want you, and you definitely can't make people let you in on what they doing or talking about. I mean, it's a public conversation, then it's a private conversation. You know, in the public, it is just in the public. If you see somebody in the public, I mean, I'm a prime example of just working with people you don't really care for, but it don't mean you want them or want to take them home or want to go party with them. I mean, every time somebody get a part, they think it must mean something, Todd. I mean, but yeah, branding. You see, that's how I'm branded, of course, because every time somebody come to me, it's my brand that everybody is looking at. It's the brand, you know, how I carry myself, how I conduct myself, how I conduct my business, what I do. It's a brand, period. Whether you see it every time you see me or on my shirt or whatever, it's branded, and it's not something anybody can go use and say, no, but I'm so, it's been done so good to where now when people talk, I've done so much, all you can think about is my brand, you know. People try to use it, like I said, but it just don't reference them. It comes right back to me. Like, it's my brand. It's like, you know, they know the boomerangs, the song story or whatever. Okay, so that's what it means. It is not anything else, and whatever I choose to do with you is what's left now, you know. And you know, I'm not gonna choose too much. We've done that, been there, done that, not doing that one again. So we can chalk that up. And you know, like I said, I try to live in a way to where people can, you know, get some kind of little information, not information about my private life, but how to conduct your own business, how to brand your own self. No, you might can't use the big avenues that I use. You know, maybe, you know, you probably can't get people to look at you talking like when they're at big events, like they look at me talking. I mean, maybe they won't look at you at all. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you can't have a personal stage or a pole in your crib like I do, or maybe you just can't get people to pay attention to anything you are doing like I do. Maybe you don't have the right kind of conversation that draws people in to want to listen. Maybe you don't know how to make things to catch people's eyes. I mean, well, because you know how that one gonna go, or how it went, because only thing they keep doing is turning away. So maybe you can't do all these things. You know, it sounded good at first, and it probably seemed like it would have been easy to do, but when you don't have the right looks, all they gonna keep saying is, sorry, we can't use you. You don't have the look we're going for. You don't have the right kind of conversation we looking for. You don't have the right kind of personality that goes with the role. I mean, it's so many things that when you are not being your own self, when you're trying hard to be somebody else and ain't nobody asked you to try to be nobody else, you have a problem, you know, getting people to want to pay attention. Because if they wanted another person like me, then this whole 40-something years would have been about finding girls like Cheryl. But they have not tried to find anybody like Cheryl. They have not tried to ask you to be like Cheryl. They have not tried to ask you to dress like Cheryl. They have not tried to ask you to come and get Cheryl. They have not tried to ask you to do anything with Cheryl. They told you to do your job. Don't worry about what Cheryl doing. And that's it. Been the tagline for 40-something years. You have not been invited to go where Cheryl goes. You have not been included to go be where Cheryl is. You know, when I look at whatever you're doing, when I happen to look at you on TV, you can see the breakdown. It ain't going on. It ain't like we're one big happy family. It's like we this and they over there. As soon as they finish that song, they going back over there. That's where it was on the elevator. That's where it is everywhere I look. And it's not my fault. I mean, it's just people don't want to be bothered with all that. You know, if you were just being yourself, that's one thing. But when you come complaining to people because they don't treat you like they do somebody else, that's a whole nother topic. And you don't tell people how they should act in their own life. I mean, you can go tell your own kids what to do, but you don't go tell nobody else kids what to do. Especially when you ain't got too many places to go yourself, okay? And that's this point that you need to take away from whatever you think going on today, is you don't have too many places to go, you know? People get tired of listening to that stuff. You think you're doing something. To me, no, all you're doing is hurting your own self, you know? I mean, I'm not competing with records. My record is something you have never even been around when I had a record. You know, you just always heard about it. You know, you might have had your girl one time was around when I did that one thing, you know, fly by the, you know, soaps. But you never have done anything or been a part of anything other than if Cheryl wasn't there. Most of this stuff is, a lot of it is, if Cheryl wasn't there, who was caring what you was driving? Nobody. Who was caring what you had on? Nobody. You just was in the hood. When I came here, you was in the hood. And all the 40-something years I've been here, you just been in the hood. I don't know. Unless I go over in the hood, ain't nobody thinking about what y'all doing over there in the hood. And that's the truth. You can try to jump around and whatever you want, whatever. Ain't nobody watching nothing, none of that. So, hey, we done seen that before is what they telling you. The white girl did that, all that stuff before, myself included, did all that, you know. So I don't know, branding is a hard thing to do, and people just, you know, they just can't get it right. I mean, because it's not a pity thing. It's not, oh, I can't get people to understand me. Maybe your material is bad. I mean, if you're doing all that and people still not interested, is something wrong with your material. Maybe you just need to give whatever you're doing up, or maybe you have gotten too old to keep doing that or something. I don't know. Maybe you need to move on out the way and let the younger people do it. Because constantly trying to figure out another way to be like somebody else, it just ain't working when people don't want anybody else, okay? So I can say don't give up on yourself, and that don't mean keep trying to break in an industry you claim you already in. I mean, if you already in it, what you keep trying to break in it for? I mean, especially if you've been in there more than a couple of years. If you've been there 15, 20 years, however long, I mean, if you ain't broke it in yet, and the only thing broke in is you, it's time to cut your losses and keep it moving like a horse on a saddle with a saddle. I don't know what it is, but if you have not done or accomplished whatever you felt like you needed to do, that you thought when you came in it would be a breeze, if you haven't made it that part yet, it's time for some new material. That woohoo and aha and all that stuff is, people tired of that. And if you put your music up against somebody else's music, especially if those people don't even listen to your music, that's the whole point. The point is with the advertising is you come to the advertising world because you want people to understand that you are some kind of competition, right? That's what I would think. But then when you put your stuff up against somebody that's already big and got all that advertising stuff cut down, and you put your stuff up against them, and all people can see is you just want to be like somebody else. Your material ain't really stacked up against theirs. What else can you do? I know stacked up was, people think stacked up is because we got a lot of people and it's just you. That must mean something. But no, it don't mean something when you dealing with people who don't want nothing else, period. Even if it's not me afterwards, they still don't want nothing else. I mean, other than just to look at themselves in the mirror. That's all they want. So it's hard to stack up against somebody when you don't even have what people want, nor is it what people want to see. I mean, people act like I'm the only one getting old. No, every year I get old, you get older too. And every year you get older too is more people drawn away from you. I mean, if they giving you opportunities to act and you can't act, what kind of role you think they making up? Non-acting roles, like Get Lost. Those kind of roles, and I don't know, but you just try to be positive. I try to be positive about a lot of stuff, okay? If you get your role, then you cool. If it's one you like, then it's even better, okay? But 9 times out of 10, if you come to me, you get in a role that you don't like. That's what I mean. This is the only way I can end this conversation is if you come into Cheryl, like soon as you see Cheryl, and you think you getting on something, you already know it's a role you don't like. It's going to be a role you ain't gonna like. Period. So, you can get excited, but I'm letting you know that at the end of the day, you're gonna be like, man, I'm tired. I'm sick and tired. Yeah. So anyway, I don't know. You have so many people, and that advertising is the topic because people want to know how to, because I'll say something like, "Oh, I know the right time to advertise." Well, I do. And the whole point is you have to know the right people. Sometimes you just don't know the right people. It don't matter if you got kids by somebody. Sometimes you just don't know the right people. I mean, because having kids by somebody don't get you any airtime unless you hanging. I mean, it don't get you any free advertising. It don't get you anything unless your parents is buying it for you. But just in a world of everybody trying to make a way, it don't get you anything. So that's not really knowing the right people, because if it was, you wouldn't be constantly arguing and sick and tired all the time. You were sick and tired before I even met you all the time. So that was like a cue to me. I can't talk. A cue to me that you just don't know the right people. I mean, you just don't know them. And even if you heard of them, they ain't really paying attention, enough to change anything for you, okay? So I don't know. I wish everybody well. I wish I could say that and people be like, yeah, I mean, but it's just something people are struggling with within themselves, and no matter what other people try to do, they still gonna be struggling with it because they're not a part of whatever it is they want to be a part of, and and it just don't go that way. So anyway, branding. Make sure you take your time. Come up with something you think you really like, and you don't have to think hard about what other people might like. If it's something you like, you feel you want to believe in that, you believe that's what it is, then you stay on that and package yourself, but just don't give up, and definitely don't listen to haters, because haters, as soon as you try to do something, that's all they want to do. And then they'll get mad, of course, because at the end of the day, they could have came out at the same time somebody else did, but people chose the other person instead. And I don't know why. Some people just don't know how to carry themselves. They spend too much time talking about stuff that don't matter when they could have been doing something else. Like, it's a bit too late to kind of go back and do something, make a big deal out of something that you never did before. It is kind of too late. I don't know. You can give me your opinions on that, because people do say it's never too late, but sometimes, like, if your baby was 1 and you didn't have a party when she was 1, and then you want to come back when she 5 talking about you want to have her a party for when she was 1, even she probably gonna be looking at you like, I mean, like, what? I mean, I'm 5 years old now. What the fuck is you talking about? So yeah, sometimes it is kind of hard to go back and make a big deal out of something that you didn't when, it is, when parenting is one of those things, especially if you went off the radar for some silly stuff or whatever and never did try to be a part of your child's life, and then you wait till they accomplish something in their life or whatever, and then you want to come and try to be a part. That's gonna be kind of too late, because they just gonna be looking at you like, look at this bum. So anyway, that's how it goes. It's how the cookie crumbles. If you don't know, now you know, and I'm here to tell you so. Everything that glitters ain't gold. I mean, it's like a cab. It ain't gold, baby, and I ain't cleaning it up for you. So it is what it is. I hope you find the gold at the end of the rainbow, is how they put it, but it won't be in my motherfucking pocket, that's for sure. So that's my thoughts about branding and all those things. Advertising is a big one, because not everybody can say, I want my image on this or that or the other. Most of the times they can't even get a cold drink of water. So anyway, tell me your thoughts. Check back in next Tuesday and we can talk about something else. Thank you.